My name is Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor with the Internal Revenue Service. Welcome to my YouTube video station, which is fast, clear, and to the point. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the trust fund recovery process. What's that like? So, by the way, I put my phone number in my email. If you want to ask me any questions, I'm happy to answer. I've worked thousands of IRS trust fund recovery penalty cases. So, what's the process? What does an RO do like me who's coming out and making a determination on who in fact is liable for that trust fund tax? One of the things I do, and the main form that I use, is a form 4180. It's important for you to have that form and understand that is a very key piece of evidence for me lining that up. The second page is important because it lets me know who was on bank signature cards, who authorized payments, who signed payroll, who had the right to hire and fire. There's 10 critical questions on there. Everyone, I think, everyone who was on the bank signature cards or corporate resolution or employees, I thought could be responsible, I would give that form to. And it's amazing how there's a different set of truths when you give that form to all different people. When there's pressure from the IRS coming out and setting up the trust fund recovery penalty, the IRS has to make a determination. So the trust fund recovery penalty is a portion of unpaid federal taxes, payroll taxes that have not been paid to the government. It's the money that was actually held in trust, not turned over to the United States government. So the government says, we're going after you individually for that. So as a revenue officer, it's kind of really easy to determine. You look at the form, you pay some attention to the form, but you look at the facts. Who signed checks? Who signed the 941s? Who was control? Who had the right to hire or fire? You go interview 4 or 5 people, and you're going to find out immediately who that responsibility. Generally, if you were signing checks, you were in control, you're responsible. However, there are situations that the owner allows other people to sign the checks. So you kind of pull the veil and you find out who's responsible. And then you go ahead and send out an 1153 letter and a 2751 letting you know that IRS is going to assert the trust fund penalty against you. A lot of times different people tell different stories. So as a revenue officer, you see through that. It's not that difficult. I don't think there was any one case it wasn't clear to me, but there are defenses if you're set up for the penalty. Usually the owner who writes checks is clearly set up. Sometimes the secretary or bookkeeper, not so much so. But if IRS does that, you have an appeal process to go to appeals and hear your case. Many times you get some lazy revenue officers and they just throw a dragnet around everyone and scoop them all in and let everybody go to appeals. If that's something happened to you or you think you're being unfairly assessed, give us a call. Have worked that many cases and we can set up a really good defense for you if that's the case. But remember, the revenue officer is not the last word. You actually have an appeals and you actually have tax court. So don't easily accept it. Fight it as much as you can. Thank you.